Shalom Aleichem, my dear brothers and sisters. In this video, I would like to discuss with you the topic of humbleness, or being humble. And I actually just heard a funny story from my rabbi, and I would like to share it with you. First of all, what does it mean humble, when a person is humble? So one aspect of being humble is acting humbly, right? Don't be like a big shot when talking about yourself. But a deeper aspect of being humble is being humble internally, meaning in your thoughts, when you not just act humbly, but you actually think not more about yourself than what you really are internally. And the story is like this: how there was a young guy who was a good scholar. He was learning good, knew Torah good, and somebody was offering him a shidduch, which is like a matchmaking to get married to a girl. And this guy said, why are you offering me this girl? I'm a scholar. I know Torah so much. How can you offer her to me? So his rabbi decided that you need to work on your humbleness, and so he sent him to a yeshiva, which specifically teaches musar. Musar is like try to correct your character traits. And so he sent him to this yeshiva, and then this young guy comes back already from the yeshiva after so many months or years, I'm not sure. And again, the rabbi tries to offer him a shidduch. And after he has been taught how to be humble, and the rabbi offers him a shidduch, like matchmaking a girl for marriage. And this young man says, "Excuse me, Rabbi," he says, "before you offered me similar shidduch, and I was a scholar, but I wasn't humble yet. But now," he says, "I'm not just a scholar, I'm a scholar, and now I'm also humble. How can you offer me this girl?" And basically he was saying now that he's humble, even more so, he should needs a better girl. So what does that mean? That means he wasn't humble inside. And that's the trick. The trick is to be humble inside. That's the true humbleness. Not just acting humble, but actually being humble inside. And in fact, about Moses, peace be upon him, it says that the Torah himself, God himself, testifies that he was the most humble man on earth. And I think the verse is in Numbers 3:13, if I remember correctly, in the book of Numbers, chapter 3, verse 13. And now let me ask you a question. The Torah itself says that Moses was the most humble man, right? And we know from the 13 principles of our faith is that one of the 13 principles is that Moses was the greatest prophet. That's one of the 13 principles of the Jewish faith. Moses was the greatest prophet of all prophets. The prophecy of Moses cannot be even compared to the prophecy of all the other prophets that existed. And so now the question is, did Moses himself believe in the 13 principles? And obviously the question is yes. That's the 13 principles of our faith. So if Moses believed in the 13 principles of our faith, that means Moses knew that he was the greatest prophet that ever existed. So now the question is, how is that humbleness, if he knew about himself that he was the greatest prophet? And the answer to that, what I heard, is like this: that being humble doesn't mean that you believe in some kind of a falsehood. Being humble, you know the truth, you believe in the truth. The difference is you don't assign yourself something more than what you are. That's being humble. If a person assigns to himself something more than what he is, that's already not being humble. But if a person knows something about himself and he knows the truth, we're not talking about and he knows something about himself as the truth, right? And therefore he knows it is. That does not mean he's not humble. Humble means that when a person adds something to himself which is not true, assigns something more than what he really is. Thank you for watching.